hopefully, if you've been a listener for a while, this issue isn't even an issue of debate anymore. Even today's issue. I mean, just go back and listen to some more. Go up to YouTube and key in Scott Johnson and vaccination. On my word, you'll get your boat loaded. Or Pharmakia, Scott Johnson Pharmakia. You'll find, actually I have that link at the end of this article, which the PDF will be connected with the teaching as it is every week up on contendingfortruth.com. And there are some other websites up there of listeners that are putting these up as well. So praise the Lord. And I'm glad for that. Very, very glad. Because I really don't want to have just one person putting up my teachings. Because then I can be, or one website putting up teachings. Because then that website can be zeroed in on. But there's so many people that have put them up. It's going to be kind of tough for them to because there's so many different people that have done this. And praise the Lord for that. Let's go further. Lloyd Blankfein, the CEO of Goldman Sachs, became a major shareholder in AstraZeneca following his direction of the company's acquisition of the H1N1 flu mist maker, MedImmune. Blankfein has also leveraged the ABC Disney. Oh, now we get into Disney. And we've done a whole gigantic study on them, how corrupt they are and how wicked they are. Blankfein has also leveraged ABC Disney following their merger with money he raised through GlaxoSmithKline investors. This resulted in Dr. Oz's heavy promotion of the H1N1 vaccine on ABC last year. How did Dr. Oz promote this primarily? Through Oprah Winfrey. When my mom was alive, she wanted to watch that garbage every day. And I would see it come in and she'd be watching Dr. Oz and I'd watch him. And not to say he didn't have any good points, but every single time I watched the guy, there were glaring things he was getting wrong or omissions. Or his solution typically was tended to be the wrong solution, either in part or in totality. It was super obvious, for me to be able to see that. Well, he's nothing more than a mouthpiece for the pharmaceutical companies. In reality, his heavy promotion of the H1N1 vaccines on ABC of last year. And when did that happen? When officials learned that the vast majority of Americans were unwilling to risk the exposure. Now, this is good because now there's a lot of people that understand that this is bogus and this is garbage. And we need to keep hammering that point home to other people. Why? Because the media is doing the same thing on a daily basis, day in and day out. They have their propaganda machines. Okay? And so this is why we just don't put this information out one time and then just walk away and say, okay, I've done my job. I've done all I can do. Granted, you have to do it as the Lord opens the doors. But if we keep hammering these points home week after week after week, giving confirmation week after week after week, it becomes to the point where you're convinced. You've been shown the truth. So, let's go further. Rupert Murdoch, dubbed the most wicked man on the planet, who has, a pornography empire, and he's one of the biggest people in all of media, whether it be print, video, whatever. Also, good old Rupert is a member of Rick Warren's Saddleback Church. And I'm sure Rick Warren hasn't given him a stern rebuke for all the garbage that he's into. Well, he'd have kind of a hard time because Rick would have probably 4 fingers pointing back at himself if he tried that with Rupert. Anyway, I did a whole teaching on that. You go up to YouTube, Scott Johnson, either Rupert, just key in Rupert, Rupert, you'll find it. Anyway, Rupert Murdoch and Lloyd Blankfein, the guy I just talked about, found... Lloyd Blankfein is also the co-chair of the Partnership for New York City, World Bank ambassador, and America's leading energy industrialist and medical monopolist, David Rockefeller. That wasn't written too well. Anyway, these 3 guys, Rupert Murdoch, Lloyd Blankfein, and David Rockefeller, are all integrally related to this Partnership for New York City, the World Bank, and then Chase Manhattan. The Partnership for New York City was chartered by the Royal Family of England, a majority shareholder in General Electric, the world's largest company, that controls NBC, the news outlet, Universal, and Comcast.